If you think everyone is supposed to meet your needs, take a walk with me. This type of mindset is very self-focused and often draining for the other person. The problem is, you've never known anything different. You learned that you had to work to get your needs met in order to receive the only version of love you've ever known. If you perform at a high level, if you get everything right, if you do everything that was ever expected of you, then you might get your needs met. Also, if you stop and let the sun hit you, it feels like 50 degrees in January. And then you start walking again and the wind reminds you it's not 50 degrees. One of the biggest challenges that you have is that you spend so much time thinking about what the other person might be thinking. Notice I said might be thinking because how could you ever really know? And of course, you do that just so you can try and anticipate what's going to happen next and create this sense of safety within yourself. You've gotten really good at and you're hyper aware of every smile, every smirk, every twitch, every eye movement, and all the body language that gives you all the hints you need to determine what's happening inside of them. And you find yourself telling yourself, they must be broken and I can fix them. You think, I can change them, and if I'm different, then they'll accept me, love me, hear me, see me, and respect me. And the statement that's running around in the background of your mind is, I can get them. I have to get them. And the weird thing is, you're always wondering what they think of you, but you never stop to ask yourself, what do you really think of them? People will often say, I didn't know that I could do that or even that I should. And this leaves you feeling broken and immature in your own process, with a trail of chaotic relationships in your past. And for those of you who haven't decalcified your pineal gland, this is where you get offended. I'm just kidding, but if you know, you know, and that's really funny. I want you to know that it's not your fault and nobody's blaming you. This is the all too familiar dynamic that you were born into. It was hardwired into your nervous system, and this is only an awareness of you. You should know and be aware that this is not a permanent state of being, that you can earn a secure attachment. You can wire in a new way of being through your habits, rituals, and beliefs. And this is how many of us get to the place of starting a self-healing journey or a journey of self-discovery. And most of you are thinking you're like Rachel McAdams. It's not that easy. And you would be right. It's not that easy. You're thinking, you don't know my life. You don't know what I've been through. It's like, okay, you're right, but you haven't lived through my life, and we've all been through some shiznit. And this is why it's important to start observing your own patterns in relationships. And it'll be a shock to your system when you finally recognize who you really are. You'll understand that we learn about attachment styles not so that we can label our partner avoidant, but so that we can better understand how we integrate ourselves into relationships with other people. That's why these observations are so important. If you're anxious, well, when does that happen? Is it when you don't get a text back right away? And how many minutes does that take? Or is it seconds? Good to know. I don't like the way that feels. I should probably write that down. Maybe it's because you feel like you don't get enough of someone's time. Should probably write that down. How much time is enough, and are you ever satisfied? Or are you the type of person that wants to live underneath their t-shirt? And of course, the next things to ask yourself are, what are your goals, values, and standards for a relationship with you? We know how important selection is, so how good is your picker? Or is it a little broken? Understand what it means to have a reciprocal relationship. And one of the most important pieces in the selection process is, do you have a shared mission and vision for your life together? Where are you going? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And what will you co-create? And if that didn't make sense, then you should probably decalcify your pineal gland. Om.